Wicked is a stage play based on The Wizard of Oz that I haven't seen, but it's also a two-part, near 5-hour movie duology that I have seen. Now, let me be clear, critique or not, I do enjoy these movies, mostly. The way I'm going to do this is go over the plots and give my thoughts and stuff as we go, because I honestly think this thing actually sucks as a prequel to The Wizard of Oz. So I'm going to quit wasting time and get straight into it. Wicked. In the land of Oz, Glinda the Good, played by Ariana Grande, joins the citizens of Munchkinland as they celebrate the death of the Wicked Witch of the West. Right, off the bat, 1. Glinda in The Wizard of Oz is a redhead, but the prequel retcons it and makes her a blonde, and also way younger when Dorothy turns up. Sure, maybe she's just changed her hair colour with hair dye, but there's no indication of hair dye existing in Oz. Maybe she used a spell. Nope. The two-parter explains that Glinda isn't magic, but a fraud. And yes, she does get powers at the end, but I seriously doubt a hair dye fucking spell is something that exists. The age thing, I can't explain. I genuinely have no idea. The Munchkins are no longer dwarves for no real reason. Okay, like 5 minutes in, and we've changed a lot from the original film, that this is supposed to be a prequel of. When a child asks her why wickedness happens, Glinda deliberates the question by reflecting on the witch's backstory, born from an affair between the wife of then Governor Throp, Malena, and a mysterious travelling salesman. The witch was ostracized from birth due to her unnaturally green skin, a result of the green elixir the salesman intoxicated Malena with, and impulsive telekinetic powers. When asked if she and the witch were friends, Glinda admits that they knew each other and explains their past. Years earlier, Elphaba Throp, played by Cynthia Erivo, arrives at Shiz University to see off her younger sister, Nessa Rose. Her presence and Nessa Rose's paraplegia caught the staff to patronize her, to which Elphaba reacts emotionally with an outburst of her powers. Witnessing this, Shiz's Dean of Sorcery Studies, Madame Morrible, offers to enroll and privately tutor Elphaba in sorcery, which she accepts in the hope that it will allow her to accomplish the dream of working with Oz's ruler, the wonderful Wizard of Oz, and having him change her skin colour. To her discontent, Elphaba is forced to room with the popular and social climbing Glinda Upland, with whom she clashes constantly in the song What Is This Feeling?
Loathing, unadulterated loathing.
It only took us like 5 songs, but we've got one that kind of hit. That shouldn't be a thing for a musical, especially one that's supposed to predate The Wizard of Oz. A musical with some fucking bangers, like Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
And obviously The Wizard and such.
Off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
One night, Elphaba follows history professor Dr. Dillamond, an anthropomorphic goat who faces discrimination as one of Shiz's last animal professors, to a meeting of animals off campus who reveal that the other animals are losing their ability to speak. Alright, I don't get the sudden introduction of animals in the world, but to be honest, I can ignore it, because we do have the monkeys and the lion in the original Wizard of Oz, also those trees. This is a world without rules, so I can't critique that too much. Rebellious transfer student Fiyero Tigala, they really make these names hard to say, takes a group of students to a party at the Ozdust Ballroom nightclub. Glinda convinces her admirer Bog Woodsman and Munchkin to invite Nessa Rose, so she can accompany Fiyero. Moved by this, Elphaba persuades a begrudging Morrible to tutor Glinda. Elphaba arrives at the Ozdust and is ridiculed for wearing a pointed hat, which Glinda gave her as a joke. Glinda remorsefully dances with her, and the two begin to bond in popular. Again, it's taken us God knows how long, but we have another song I actually like. That's 2, and truthfully, this is the best one in both films because it's been stuck in my head for a while scripting this.
Popular. You're gonna be popular.
Dillamond informs the class that animals are no longer allowed to teach at Shiz, and is manhandled from the classroom. His replacement, the unscrupulous Professor Niddick, demonstrates a new contraption, a cage containing a frightened lion cub, designed to prevent animals from learning to speak. Enraged, Elphaba spins poppy dust all over the room, putting everyone except herself and Fiyero to sleep. They escape the campus and release the cub into the forest. I get why Elphaba doesn't fall asleep because it's her own fucking spell, but it doesn't explain why Fiyero stays awake. And I know I said this is a world with no rules, but come on, the line of defense can only work for me and be bent so far. Yes, it's a world without rules, but at least stick to the ones you somewhat put in there. After sharing a moment, Elphaba laments her unrequited feelings for Fiyero. Elphaba receives an invitation to meet the wizard, who has heard of her powers from Morrible, and is accompanied by Glinda, now calling herself Glinda, in solidarity with Dillamond, who kept calling her Glinda. They arrive in the Emerald City and are introduced to the wizard, who they are surprised to find out is an ordinary man. Okay, thank God the Wizard of Oz hasn't been changed. I am happy with the change it made to the Emerald City, though. It's actually now a city and not just a castle like in the original Wizard of Oz. That's something decent. Morrible arrives to witness Elphaba and the wizards meeting. At their urging, Elphaba casts a levitation spell from the sacred Grimmery spellbook, causing the wizard's monkey guards to painfully sprout wings. We're introducing a Grimmery thing. I don't know. I guess that's something we're just putting in there. Why it's not in the original, I guess I can live with that, because by the time that Wizard of Oz comes around, they all already have powers. But is the only one who is able to read and comprehend the spellbook. As the wizard and Morrible rejoice over their newfound ability to use the monkeys as personal spies, Elphaba realizes that they are the ones behind the animals' oppression, and that the fraudulent wizard, lacking any real magic of his own, used her to further subjugate them. Horrified, Elphaba seizes the Grimmery and flees. At Morrible's urging, Glinda follows Elphaba and implores her to stop, but Elphaba refuses while Morrible denounces her. They try to escape the Emerald City in the wizard's hot air balloon, but the opening prevents them from leaving that way, and the balloon burns up. Elphaba repeats the levitation spell on a broom and escapes the city. Glinda supports her but declines to accompany her. The two share an emotional farewell before Glinda is apprehended by guards. Fiero leaves Shiz on a horseback amidst a mass evacuation, while Governor Throp suffers a heart attack as he and Nessa Rose receive the news. Elphaba flies west, leaving Glinda behind. Morrible hugs the latter in the song Defying Gravity. The song is okay, I guess. It's like the most popular one. That's all I've got. So that's Wicked. It's got some complaints from me, and I do appreciate it, especially the performances, but I guess way worse in Wicked for Good. You thought I was being a pedantic, cynical prick now? You ain't seen nothing yet. Wicked for Good. Sometime after defying the wonderful Wizard of Oz, Elphaba Throp, having been branded by Madame Morrible's propaganda as the Wicked Witch of the West, continues battling for animal rights from a forest hideout. Glinda Upland, now the wizard's spokesperson, is engaged to Fiero, now captain of the Gale Force, as Oz celebrates the grand opening of the Yellow Brick Road. Fiero reveals he's attempting to locate Elphaba, though Glinda insists she does not want to be found. More of a personal gripe here. I know this is a darker, broodier prequel for the Wizard of Oz, but God, I hate the idea of the Yellow Brick Road being constructed by animals who are being abused. It just felt like something from my childhood was being perverted right in front of my eyes, and didn't really like this one. Again, entirely personal gripe. I understand why it's here. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Elphaba encounters some animals, including her former caretaker Dulcibert, leaving Oz, and encourages them to fight against the wizard. The Cowardly Lion dissuades them, exposing her as the reason for the wizard's flying monkey spies. Elphaba visits her sister Nessa Rose, who has inherited their father's governorship of Munchkinland. To prevent Bok Woodsman, her unrequited lover, from abandoning her, Nessa prohibits the Munchkins from leaving Munchkinland without her approval. Elphaba enchants Nessa's shoes, giving her flight abilities. Bok, having learned of Glinda and Fiero's wedding, tries to leave, seeking Glinda's affection. Nessa tries to cast a love spell on him using Elphaba's Grimmery spellbook, but it backfires, shrinking his heart. Elphaba's attempt to save him turns him into the Tin Man. So Elphaba made the Tin Man. I can live with that for now, but I'll be a lot more scrutinizing in a bit. But honestly, I'm going to take this outside of the film now and go towards the marketing, because it's just so stupid. This twist would have been a lot cooler if it wasn't fucking spoiled in the posters. I mean, look at this shit. And yes, if you've seen the stage play, you already know this twist. But I know a lot of people who haven't, but still saw the films, including me, and this would have been a sick twist to see if I hadn't already fucking had it spoiled by these so obvious posters. Elphaba returns to the Emerald City, where the wizard and Glinda implore her to join him. She accepts under the condition that the flying monkeys be freed. Chistery, one of the monkeys, reveals a caged Dr. Dillamond, who has lost his ability to speak, among many other animals imprisoned within the wizard's lair. Elphaba reaffirms her resolve to fight the wizard and frees the animals, interrupting Fiero and Glinda's wedding. Fiero helps Elphaba escape and joins her. Concluding they are having an affair despite their protests, a heartbroken Glinda vengefully suggests the wizard and Morrible lure Elphaba out by spreading a rumor that Nessa is in trouble. At the hideout, Elphaba and Fiero profess their mutual love. He sends her to an abandoned castle, Kiamo Ko, for shelter. Meanwhile, Morrible, realizing a simple rumor would not fool Elphaba, creates a tornado that takes a house from Kansas and fatally crushes Nessa. Though this is supposed to be the big twist that makes Glinda the real bad witch, but I don't see it that way. She didn't know her conspirators would kill Elphaba's sister. It's just an unfortunate consequence from her intended plan. Glinda gives Nessa's shoes to the house's occupant, Dorothy, and directs her to the wizard, promising he can help return her home. Elphaba furiously confronts Glinda, leading to a brawl between the two before the Gale Force arrive. Fiero intervenes and holds back the guards by threatening to kill Glinda, who finally accept that he loves Elphaba. The guards drag him to a field and savagely beat him, while Elphaba escapes with the monkeys. At Kiamo Ko, Elphaba attempts to save Fiero by transforming him into a scarecrow. Right, so this has gone from a prequel to the events to supposedly happening during the original Wizard of Oz. It just timeline-wise doesn't make any fucking sense. You intend to tell me that the Scarecrow had been on his post for a couple of hours before Dorothy finds him? No, it's very fucking clearly implied in the original Oz that he's been there years. Lamenting this and all her previous failed attempts to do right, she chooses to embrace her perceived wickedness. Dorothy, Bock, Fiera, and the Lion meet the wizard, who instructs them to kill Elphaba and bring him her broomstick. Another problem, when Dorothy originally finds the Tin Man, he's rusted in his spot, which just impossibly cannot have happened in the time between him turning into the Tin Man and meeting Dorothy. It's like a 2-day time gap here, but in the original, he's very clearly been there like years. It makes no sense. If you're going to do a prequel, at least stick to the pre-established lore, and anything you add, it needs to make sense and line up. Whatever, I digress. Bock rallies the citizens of the Emerald City to form an angry mob against Elphaba. Popping in again, I hate that the Tin Man is now a malicious prick out for blood. I know this is meant to be a broodier prequel, but when you bring in the original movie, you can't have these two versions of characters who are so polar opposites coexist and mean to be the same guy. It just doesn't work and doesn't make sense. Glinda reflects on her public image being built on lies, then confronts Morrible about the tornado. Morrible reminds her that she is powerless. Realizing she must do the right thing, Glinda rushes to Kiamo-ko to warn Elphaba about the mob. Elphaba imprisons Dorothy, demanding she return the shoes just as Glinda arrives, after Chistery informs them of Fiera's alleged death. Elphaba decides to surrender and begs Glinda to withhold the truth about her, not wanting the people to turn against Glinda as well. They reaffirm their friendship and share a tearful goodbye. Glinda hides and watches as Dorothy douses Elphaba in water, apparently melting her. Alright, they dangled nostalgia in front of me and I liked it, but also, she didn't even say I'm melting. That's the real reason this is a shit prequel, obviously. Chistery, having regained speech, gives Glinda Elphaba's green elixir bottle, which Elphaba had said belonged to her mother. Glinda brings the wizard the bottle, making him realize that he is Elphaba's biological father and the reason for her power. Ashamed of his actions, he leaves Oz in a hot air balloon at Glinda's insistence. Glinda becomes Oz's leader and directs the monkeys to comprehend Morrible for her crimes, finishes telling her story to the Munchkins and re-establishes animal rights. Fiera arrives at Kiamo-ko. Elphaba emerges from a trapdoor, having faked her death to ensure she's never seen Oz again. Oh yeah, she fucking lived. Why not? Another retcon that makes no sense. They depart Oz while the Grimmery activates for Glinda. And I guess we just have to assume Dorothy never got home, since apparently all this shit actually happened and the wizard has no powers. Maybe Morrible sent her back up the same way she brought her in, but that's never confirmed, so you make your own mind up on that. The whole ending just makes no fucking sense, because in the original film, the Wizard of Oz is all a dream that Dorothy had because she was knocked out after the tornado. When you bring in all this shit, it just becomes a jumbled mess. It's more confusing to understand than fucking Doctor Who or Five Nights at Freddy's. It's so stupid. But yeah, that's why I think that Wicked kind of sucks as a prequel. I don't really know how to wrap this up. I hope you can see my points and just understand why I think it's terrible. Give me your thoughts in the comments. It's been a while since I've done a video like this, like a nice, long, chunky one, talking about stuff. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. I'm going to go make dinner now. Safe one.